How much is the game? 60. 60 big ones, which is underselling itself, in my opinion. You could easily get away with selling this game for 120 bucks with how fucking extensive the game is and how much content, and for a game as massive as it is, how much replayability the game has. Like, I'm already thinking of other characters and ways to play the game in another playthrough. And I'm already 82 hours in on my current first playthrough. The game is like wildly replayable for a story game and a game of its type and for its depth. It is so much worth more than 60 bucks. And it is, in my opinion, absolutely game of the year. I don't know what other game has come out in 2023 that could top it. Is BG3 fun? Never play games like that. I'm tempted because everyone else is playing. I think... So on the one hand, it's kind of accessible in that it's a turn-based strategy game and not a real-time one. And it's top-down, so you have as much time as you need to plan for combat, which is probably going to be the most complicated part of the game for people not familiar with it. So that's certainly a plus in terms of its approachableness. Other than that, it's a lot of dialogue options and like exploration and looting. It's a strategy. Yeah, it's like XCOM, yeah. It's a turn-based, top-down strategy game. In the combat, anyway. And there's a lot of D&D mechanics that you'd have to familiarize yourself with. But I think the game helps you out a little bit in that regard. Especially if you're, like, super new. There's, like, an easy mode that would probably be good for a first-timer as well. That wouldn't be as difficult to, like, run through. And you can always change to a harder difficulty later in your same playthrough. If you find that the early one, now that you've learned a lot of shit, is not as difficult as you would want it to be. Or feel it should be. Maybe Electo. I haven't played those. It would make sense, though, that the better Larian gets at making games and the more games they would make it a lot more accessible. But yeah, the game overall is so fucking fun. I think even for somebody who's never played D&D tabletop or played like a game like BG3 in terms of its mechanics. And it's very story-rich. And also it's a dating sim, which is fun. Plus, for an artist like you, it gives you a lot of material to work with in terms of drawing things. If you draw humanoids, anyway. Your own character, plus all the characters in the game. There's a lot of cool fan art that I've seen so far. Speaking of, I wanted to find one before we move on. Of lae'zel that I found. And it made me like lae'zel a lot more. lae'zel has grown on me. There are aliens, John David. Kind of. I don't know if Illithid and Mind Flayers count as aliens, but they're as alien as anything I've seen in the game so far. Are they, like, technically aliens in the way that we understand aliens to be? They have spaceships? Yeah, well, if humans had spaceships, we wouldn't consider ourselves aliens just because of that. So I guess literally any creature is alien if it doesn't come from the United States. That's right, brother. If it doesn't come from the goddamn United States. If it doesn't come from the Earth, but... They're from, like, another plane of existence. Aren't they Githyanki, though? As well? So they would technically be aliens at that point. I'm just saying they look very alien. And they behave very alien. Can you date an alien? Well, if Githyanki are alien, then yes. I don't know. I've not found yet if you can date a Mind Flayer. Oh, I posted this. Chilling with the bestie. I found a fucking skelly man slumped on this bench, so I had to sit by it. And I had to pull a torch out to get a good screenshot, because without it, you can't see shit. Fuck is a Mind Flayer? That shit sounds metal. It is pretty metal, actually. They give you brain worms. Here's the from Raviolis on Twitter. This is the fan art of lae'zel. And it has made me like her character so much more. Just because it's such a good piece of fan art. Like, it's so expressive. I like it a lot. The only thing I don't really like about Githyanki is they have the Michael Jackson nose. You know, no hate to anybody who has a nose like that, but I like big noses. And the Githyanki have very small noses, so... Such is life. I don't like her in the game. I mean, she's very unlikable. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anybody. But there are a variety of reasons why she's not very likable. But she's grown on me. I didn't like her right away either. But that's because you're not really supposed to. But like I said, I don't want to say too much. How much is the game? 60. 60 big ones, which is underselling itself, in my opinion. You could easily get away with selling this game for 120 bucks with how fucking extensive the game is and how much content, and for a game as massive as it is, how much replayability the game has. Like, I'm already thinking of other characters and ways to play the game in another playthrough. And I'm already 82 hours in on my current first playthrough. The game is, like, wildly replayable for a story game and a game of its type and for its depth. It is so much worth more than $60. And it is, in my opinion, absolutely game of the year. I don't know what other game has come out in 2023 that could top it. And this is coming from somebody who has never played a game like this before. I have played D&D once. Now, Armored Core 6 is not it, I'm sorry. I was hearing Will Neff argue with his chat. I haven't played Armored Core 6, so I can't give my own subjective opinion. But for as good as a game as Armored Core 6 is that I've heard, I don't think it's going to top Baldur's Gate 3. It's not as accessible for a broader audience as Baldur's Gate. And apparently it's not as extensive. That's what Will Neff said. He's played the whole game. But I haven't played it, so I can't say. But I would be shocked if it beat Baldur's Gate. Starfield, it's Bethesda. They have a lot of clout in the industry, and maybe they weasel it out on that one, but I don't have high hopes for that game. Because fucking Bethesda game. Pikmin 4, now you're talking. Could be. Tears of the Kingdom? No, man. It's a good game, but I don't think so. The only thing Tears of the Kingdom has over Baldur's Gate 3 is the fact that it's a Nintendo property. And because of that, it's more popular. And because it's a baby game, so it's accessible to more people. Sea of Stars just released? It's a JRPG. Meh. I don't like JRPGs, so maybe it'll have really good reception for people that aren't me. Yeah, I don't think for a game to be Game of the Year, it should have to go on sale for $10 after a year or two, and then be modded. I think that would actually be points against the Game of the Year category. They called Skyrim Game of the Year? Yeah, because they were smoking fucking glue. The views people have of Skyrim have changed massively over time. In hindsight, from when it came out. Because when it came out, it was all the rage. You couldn't escape it. And now you get people who are like, yeah, I've put like 800 hours into this game. And it's not as good as it used to be. Or as we felt it was back then. For the time it was good, yeah, well, you could get Game of the Year at that point. Release Skyrim, Year of Our Lord, current year, and it's not doing as well. I'm sorry. Even with some technological advancement. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I have no faith in Bethesda. I'm sorry. You know, they've re-released the game 4 times now? Yeah, wow, Pog. I don't know, man. It remains to be seen. But I think Baldur's Gate 3 has it easily so far of the games that have come out. Well, Skyrim is nothing without Big Boobies mod. Once you get that one, then it's a good game. The idea that Tears of the Kingdom could possibly beat Baldur's Gate 3 is absurd for Game of the Year. I enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom, and I played a lot of it, but it's not as good as Baldur's Gate. I'm sorry. And this is from somebody who didn't play Breath of the Wild, so I don't even have the nostalgia to play off of for that game, because I missed the Breath of the Wild boat. So this was fresh eyes, which theoretically might even be better for Tears of the Kingdom. Because from what I've heard, Tears of the Kingdom does not really deviate that much from Breath of the Wild's formula. So I didn't have any of that kind of fatigue that other people who played Breath of the Wild might have. And I still don't think it's good as Baldur's Gate. Spider-Man 2 isn't out yet? Lamau. If a superhero game gets Game of the Year, I'm going to flip. I will flip my shit. Listen, Spider-Verse is really good. Across the Spider-Verse, very poggers. You wish, Electa. Wishful thinking. I wish it would. I wish fucking Bloodborne wasn't PS4 exclusive. So stupid. I want to play that game. I'm glad nobody has brought up Street Fighter 6 for Game of the Year, because you have to be on crack. It might be Game of the Year for fighting games, but not Game of the Year overall. I don't think any fighting game could ever possibly be Game of the Year overall, because for the main fighting games that come out, it's just the same game. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. And that's because the formula is good. That's because the fighting game formula is good and fun. But it's just not Game of the Year content. Yeah, I hope it's not Fuck the Gay Fish as well. Well, Guilty Gear didn't come out in 2023, elect though, I don't think, right? So it's not really in the conversation for game of this year, 2023. Like, the only reason Tears of the Kingdom would ever get Game of the Year is because it's Nintendo. And it's a popularity contest. But on the game's merits, Baldur's Gate clears Tears of the Kingdom, and it's not even close. I don't see anyone talking about TOTK anymore. Well, to be fair, when it came out, it was all over the place for like a month or more. A game like that can't really have a super long lifespan, I don't think, in like discourse. If it's a story game. That hype only lasted a month? Well, Baldur's Gate 3 hasn't been out for a month yet, so we'll see. Maybe it falls off. Because it's also story games. I mean, the games that stay in the conversation the longest are live service games and usually online multiplayer competitive games. Because that's the point of those games, is to be able to play them forever. People were talking about Elden Ring far longer than TOTK. Yeah, that's true. Starfield will make BG3 fall off. You're lucky I don't ban you from this chat room. Yeah, you didn't even know the name. You just called it Stargate. That's how forgettable that game is already. You forgot the fucking name in your defense of it. Over for you Star Copers. Now, Starfield could be cool. I don't know. I hope it's good for the people that are excited about it. I'm not, though. I don't really care. I played Skyrim when it came out on a legally obtained copy. And I had a romp. I didn't finish it. And anytime I've tried to play it since then, I've been bored after like the first 30 minutes. I saw that as well, Gabe. I also use Twitter. They should allow you to enter the gas giants and then immediately die. Be like, okay, we've heard your criticisms. You can now enter the gas giant. And then when people actually try to do it, their vessel just immediately implodes. And I mean, more power to you if that's what you want to do. I hope Starfield lets you fly into stars. Well, yeah, exactly. If somebody wants to just low-tier God into the sun in Starfield, then why not? Anyway, this lae'zel artwork is so fucking good. I love the expression she's making. It's so good. From Raviolis. Yeah, I hope Starfield, for the people that are excited about it, doesn't have the what the fuck was that shit-ass game called? How do I not even remember the name? The other space exploration game that was a really big letdown when it came out, but eventually, apparently, the company got better. No Man's Sky. Apparently, the game is better now. I tried playing it after it was, quote, better now, and I got bored immediately, but maybe it's just not for me. I hope it doesn't turn out like that for Starfield. Bum 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 ba-da-dum bum bum bum. What other games have come out in 2023? We already said Tears of the Kingdom. That should not win Game of the Year, in my opinion. We said Armored Core 6. From what I've heard, it doesn't make sense for that game to win Game of the Year either, even if it's a really good game. Diablo 4 is an absolute shit show. Don't make me laugh. Blizzard doesn't know how to make video games anymore. Pikmin 4, now that is a fair statement. I still don't think it would win, because it is a very niche property within the Nintendo ecosystem. But, that's a better game than Diablo 4. I didn't play Diablo 4, but I heard a lot of Diablo fan gays are very disappointed in it. Or disappointed in Blizzard for how they handled it. Final Fantasy 16? Bro, there are 16 of those games, bro. Are they really iterating that much on the formula? Is it really a different game? Yes? Oh, I'll take your word for it. That game fell off, Say Kid. A re-release should never get Game of the Year, I don't think. That doesn't make any sense. Or like a remaster. It would have to be absolutely exceptional of a remake. And I hear people talk about Resident Evil 4 that way. So maybe that would be fair. But I've seen people's commentary on the remake of Dead Space. I don't think you can say the same for that game. But maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe they're wrong. I didn't play it. Plus, Baldur's Gate 3 is such a different game than a lot of the other games we're talking about, compared to games that have been able to get as much critical acclaim and success. Like, it's a fairly inaccessible game at its face. I think you can get into it pretty easily. Like, the game teaches you a fair amount of shit you need to know. It's still very complicated, and it's still done this well. And like for it to stand out that much with as niche of a gameplay loop as it has and like a mechanic system that it has in terms of video games, I feel like that enough is putting it in like the top 3. You can throw people in Baldur's Gate. That sold me instantly. Yeah. Use your goblin friend as an improvised weapon. Like Goblin Grenade in Magic the Gathering. Except they don't die when they hit the enemy. I think Lies of P could be good. Maybe. Pinocchio Souls could be cool. I don't know if it would be Game of the Year worthy, but it comes out in October, or has it already come out? I thought it came out in like August. September 16th? Did it get pushed back? I thought I remember reading it was in August. Oh, regardless. I saw Shark 300 play the demo, and it seemed chill. Seemed kind of neat. Dave the Diver, Game of the Year every year, for sure. What a good game. Unfortunately, not that much replayability with that game, but all games don't have to have replayability. In fact, the quest for replayability can often make games worse if the studio doesn't do it well. So, Dave the Diver not being as replayable is kind of a W in that way. They had an idea, they delivered on it. It was poggers. Minecraft Legends. Telling you Gollum sweeps. Lameo. Avatar game? Do you mean The Last Airbender or Blue Men group? Blue Men? The show. Ah! This is the first I'm hearing of this. I still haven't seen Last Airbender, by the way. I'm currently getting through One Piece. One Piece using a filler list too, but it's still so much. Oh, I'm so excited for Hades 2. I'm not going to play the early access, though. I'm going to wait until full release. That's how much I respect the game. Well, the first game, anyway. I don't need to see it early. I am confident that the final product will be exceptional. Zoro's Pog, yeah, he's my dog boy. Anyway. The Sand Dude? No. I'm at Whiskey Peak. And I think it's about to wrap up soon. So they just got into the Grand Line. Spoiler alert. But Luffy and crew don't die in the show before getting into the Grand Line. Sorry if that spoiled this decade-plus-old show and manga. But you find philosophytube's character? No, but I had briefly watched a little bit of 39 Daft's playthrough before I knew I wanted to get the game. Because I didn't actually expect that I was going to get Baldur's Gate 3. And I remember hearing philosophytube's voice. And I was like, huh, that's cool. I'm glad she got in the game. And I looked it up and it was confirmed. Abigail Thorne. Well, the problem with that End Breeze is that even without filler, at least from this filler list that I've been following, it's still a lot of fucking episodes. Like, look at this. One Piece is an ongoing anime series that started in 1999. So far, 1,075 episodes of One Piece have been aired. With a total of 95 reported filler episodes, One Piece has a very low filler percentage of 9%. Like, so even without filler, it's still a shitload of fucking episodes. I am here, so I'm here next. I have to watch 67 next. This is not worth it for you, maybe. And then I have all this. It is likely I take a break at some point. But, you know. Didn't JoJo take breaks between seasons? You mean like for releases? Probably. But don't most shows do that? You're sitting so low? Yeah, I have a new chair. And also, I need to get a new webcam stand because this one is fucked and won't go any lower than it currently does. And if I point it down anymore, you can't see the stuff in my background. I still haven't finished Stone Ocean either, which is unfortunate because I really liked all of JoJo up until that point. I'll probably get back to it, though. I have like 4 episodes left in the first half of the season. Got 2 votes for One Piece and 1 against. Listen, even with the filler list, like I say, which I have been following a filler list, it's a lot of fucking episodes. I'm only on episode 67, and that's with skipping like, what, 4 episodes or 6 episodes of filler? 7 episodes of filler. Actually, 8, because one of these says mixed canon / filler, and I just skipped it because I didn't care. Lamau. How motherfuckers look saying Starfield is gonna beat Baldur's Gate 3 for Game of the Year 2023. Lamau. No shot. Baldur's Gate 3 is so good. I have no faith in Bethesda to produce something better. We all know their past franchises have been taken care of. Yeah, exactly. I fucking hope not, Sock and Sock. That'd be like if Tears of the Kingdom got Game of the Year because it's Nintendo. Fucking, that shit pisses me off. This shit should not be a popularity contest, man. Of course, that's all award shows have ever been. I think it is rare that you will find an award show that isn't simply a popularity contest and actually looks at like the objective metrics of a game and then the positive popular reception. Tears of the Kingdom will not win Game of the Year. Well, it's not a better game than Baldur's Gate 3 shows, so it shouldn't, and I've played both. I haven't finished Baldur's Gate 3, and I can still say it's a better game. I had pizza before stream, and I just burped and tasted it again, and I want it again, but I can't. I have to wait until tomorrow to have the leftover. My only meal of the day, or meals of the day, cannot consist solely of the same pizza. That's I cannot do this to myself. But to be fair, I don't have much else. What was on it? Extra cheese, spinach, and mushroom like a fucking Giga Chad. And if you find that to be disgusting, you are a child. It absolutely can. What's wrong with you? Well, I ate 3/4 of a pie for my first meal of the day. So I probably shouldn't eat the rest of the pie. I currently have a lead weight in my stomach. Spinach and mushroom on pizza is goated. It gives you vitamins and minerals on a delivery mechanism that is tried and true and perfect, which is a pizza slice. It's so good. Because, like, just plain cheese pizza, it's not enough vitamins and minerals. It's not enough nutrition, and it's just a lot of empty carbs. But you throw on the mushroom and the spinach, at least it's a little bit better. No treaded. No olives. Feta cheese would be fine. But ranch? You still get the empty carbs? Yeah, well, your mother, so whatever. Didn't I just say that? I literally just said that. At least you get a little bit of the vitamins and minerals. Do you not listen to me when I speak? Does it have a twink in backless dress and balls physics? Baldur's Gate 3? Yes, actually. That is possible. There's even more than balls physics. You get to see people hang dong or vagine in that game. And it's not even like... What's the word I'm thinking about? Untasteful. There's another word I'm thinking about. It's like, it's not even... It's like, it's tasteful, the nudity. Well, it's a different word. It's like... I think it ends in an acious. Gratuitous, actually. Gratuitous, right? That's the word I'm thinking of? Yes, gratuitous. My bad, there wasn't an acious at the end. You ever tried pizza with olive oil instead of tomato sauce? No. I like the tomato sauce too much. BG3 makes me do so much save scumming. I'm fine save scumming my first playthrough. I don't give a shit. I just want to see everything that the game has to offer for the most part, with at least the way I'm playing with my my character. And in a subsequent playthrough, I'll do a lot of options that I didn't pick this time. And I'll quick save less because I've seen a lot of the game already. My next playthrough that I play solo, I want to... Right now, I'm essentially just a more intelligent Luffy from One Piece. I'm just an anime protagonist in a shonen anime. And I'm trying to be good and helpful and nice and all this kind of shit. So I want my next one to be more selfish. My next character. And probably more rude, but not evil. And I have a lot of thoughts as to why I don't want to do an evil playthrough. I initially thought I did, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I would be wrong in this assumption. But my assumption is, I think the game kind of expects you to be at least good in the sense that it is helpful for you to be good so that you can get the positive benefits, even if you want to be good in a selfish way in your playthrough. And because of that, you're going to end up having a lot of experiences in the game that you might not otherwise if you're evil. So, for instance, I can think of an evil choice to make in the game that I've come across so far that would have ended up with me just experiencing less of the game. Like, oh, do you want to go help me save this missing child? Well, the evil option would be no, unless I can get something out of it. And if I can't get anything out of it, well, then I just won't do it. And then I'm just not playing as much of the game. So I think it would be a more fulfilling, and I could be wrong about that. Like maybe like a true evil playthrough, there's actually a lot more depth to that than I think. So I think it would be a more fulfilling, I think people call it Dark Urge. I don't know if that's like an actual thing or that's like what the community has decided to call that kind of playstyle. I don't actually know. But anyway, I think the more full-fledged and better way to play like an evil character, at least for me, from what I can see in the game so far as I've played it, would be, like I say, like a selfish, like rude character that still helps people, but only for its own personal benefit. Plus, I don't want to make the NPCs feel too bad, because I've always been like that in games. Even when I was a kid, I do not like making NPCs feel bad. It makes me feel bad. That's a neutral playthrough, is it? Well, I would probably choose some evil options here and there just to see what's up. But that would require me to flesh out my character more, and I'm still on my current playthrough, so I haven't even, like, decided what that character is going to be like. I know at some point I want to play a melee battle mage. That's what I do know. But I don't know if it'll be that character. I also want to play a druid, and that might be my rude character. For my rude playthrough. My selfish asshole playthrough. Like, the idea of an evil druid is really cool to me. I think it's a neat idea. Because I feel like most people, when they think of a druid, they think of, like, an altruistic, maybe, like, authoritarian, but at least, like, I feel like druids a lot of the time are, like, lawful good or lawful neutral. Because they, like, adhere to the laws of nature and shit like that. I think that makes sense. Yeah, like, being eco-fascist. Yeah, exactly. But like, you could, on the other flip side of that, like, with the circle of life type shit, you can justify a lot of evil behavior using, you know, that's just the circle of life. That's just the way nature dictates, right? So there's a lot that you can play with there for an evil druid, in my opinion. And there's enough of a juxtaposition from the expectation of a druid that it's interesting to me. Because, like, having an evil human, to me, just makes so much sense. Like, just like a humanoid fighter or whatever. Like, that, there's so much depth there from what people... Like, nobody expects anything from that. But people kind of expect the druids to be nice. So, to do the opposite of that is cool to me. Because there are creatures in nature that behave that way as well. Maybe they don't have the intellect required to, like, be, like, actively malicious and, like, understand that what they're doing is fucking evil. So that would be the difference, but there are, like, allegories or analogies or comparisons or whatever. Like cats, for instance. Fucking domesticated house cats, if you have an outdoor cat, are fucking evil. They play with their food, they torture their food, they're apex predators. They can fucking do a lot of damage. They're fucking evil motherfuckers if you don't train them well. Now, our cats are not evil. They're also not outdoor cats, though. They don't have many chances to be evil. And that's evil by our perspective. But by their perspective, this is just natural for them. But humans are advanced enough as a species, or at least one half of the ideological spectrum is intellectually proficient enough to understand that that shit is evil. And there is no reason to justify bad behavior based on so-called natural aspects. Or biologically essentialist shit. Of course, there is another half of the ideological spectrum on the right side of it, right directionally, the incorrect side of it, that loves to do that. But they are cringe. There's birds that replace babies and kills the originals. There's also birds that are, like, in some way immune to, like, I remember seeing in a Tierzu video, the bird tier list. There are these birds that impale their prey on these, like, thorny trees and leave them to die there so that the poison in their prey goes away so they can eat them or some shit like that. And it's fucking metal, but very gruesome. But I don't think you can call it evil because they do that so they can eat the fucking poisonous animal after it's no longer poisonous. Shrikes? Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah. They're fucking metal as hell. And they look stupidly cute as well. They don't even look mean. Look at him. He's so cute. What the hell? He does have a hooked bill, though. That's how you know this motherfucker's not just eating seed. Cute bird that kills you in nightmarish ways. Yeah, very stereotypical in that way. Or I guess not stereotypical, but stereotypical in, like, the idea of an edgy character. You know what I mean? Put something else on.